Sorry's about that. Do you want to hear something funny? My phone screen hasn't come up yet. Don't mind me, we're just doing the stream. Dainty Wall, how are you, bud? What's going on, mate? Lowy, how are you, mate? Good to see you here, matey. Well, that's just destroyed my average for the stream, hasn't it? I had to cancel that. Welcome, everyone. As long as I've got chat, that's the main thing I don't really care about. Oh, what's the matter, Dainty Wall? I've been crooked too, man. Oh, we've got this flu here that starts off as a virus and ends up as a bacterial infection in your chest and your throat. Man, I was coughing up stuff that science hadn't discovered yet, you know? So, yeah, come on, mate. The whole platform's going to bloody pear-shaped. Right. Let's try this live. No, I've still got the same issue. Oh, that's better. Hey, we're finally there. All right, fam, welcome. Alrighty, so what we're doing tonight, we're just going to do a cheeky little soft plastic stream tonight. Nothing, too outlandish, if you know what I mean. Right, there we go. And thanks to everyone that's tuned in. Now, look, this is a spot that we were fishing the other night. And look, what happened recently was I just got some beautiful soft plastics in from America. And we're getting the website constructed again as we speak. Right, so... Hey, Coolsters, how are you, mate? Good to see you, bud. I got some soft plastics in from America from a company called the Bass Academy. They are a fantastic looking soft plastic. We will get a little torch here, right? So if you just have a look at the colours in this, I was quite shocked with the quality of the soft plastics. These are a super, with soft plastics, there's 6 grades, right? You've got the super soft, which is what these are, right? So the actions on these aren't going to be bettered by anything. This is actually made by a company in America, believe it or not, right? So all made in the USA, same old story. If you want quality, you got to buy American, people. That's why I've just about vomited when the American reels stopped getting made in America, but anyway. And the best colour, I think, of the lot that I'm really keen to try, see that? That's like a purple themed soft plastic, which will be an absolute dynamite colour. I'm really looking forward to using that one in the like freshwater, but I'll show you more about that another time, eh? Dainty Wall, what I'll do, mate, is if you just give me 5 minutes, right, I'll do the introduction, and then what I'll do is I'll finish rigging up one of these properly. Basically, what it initially comes down to is your personal preference. Me personally, I started casting right-handed, reeling left-handed when I was about 16. I was still at school, from memory. It takes a long time to get accustomed to it, but the main science behind it is when you cast right-handed, and Australia is one of the few countries in the world that casts right-handed, retrieves right-handed. So when you cast right-handed and then you swap over and then you start winding, you've always got that 1 or 2 seconds of sort of loose line that's going through the water, and a lot of times when you're fishing with lures, that's when you'll get a hit. And the main reason is being right-handed and your right hand's your strongest arm, and you know, I throw tennis ball, cricket ball, or right-handed. That's my strongest hand, so that's my more accurate hand. This is the weaker hand. All it's got to do is wind. But once I started retrieving left-handed, it did make a difference to my catch rate, because I was getting those fish that were hitting my lures on the drop, which is a big thing, because as soon as I went from right-handed retrieve to left-handed retrieve, I reckon I increased my catch rate by, on average, about 10%, just purely and solely because I always had control of what I was doing. If you're left-handed though, you throw the ball left-handed, you're left-handed tennis player and squash player, well then you cast left-handed and you retrieve right-handed. Basically your non-preferred hand is the one that you use to wind the reel, okay? And the other thing is too, believe it or not, unless you do martial arts or boxing or something like that, your preferred hand is usually stronger than your non-preferred hand, okay? So I'm lucky because I boxed for years, so they're about the same. And if anything, I could probably say my non-preferred hand, which is my left hand, could be a little bit stronger than the right one. But it's just that when you're using your preferred hand, it's like second nature. You don't have to think. When you're using a non-preferred hand, that little bit of doubt that creeps into your mind could cost you the fish of a lifetime. There's enough things that go wrong with your fishing as it is, you know. So, yeah. Hey, Dope Fishy, how are you, bud? Yeah, mate. This is the good thing about using a phone for streaming, people. Like all this rubbish about you need a backpack to stream, you don't need a backpack, right? The Samsung Galaxy S23, right, which is what we're using here, at the moment, if you have a look at the grass down either side of me here, right, that's what the daylight level's at, okay? I'm still trying to figure out if I can use the nighttime lens on the Samsung to live stream with, but I can't find a streaming app that will allow me to incorporate the nighttime lens, because the S23 Galaxy has got the Snapdragon, is it Snapdragon? I think it's Snapdragon. It's got the Snapdragon processor in it, which is technically a computer processor. The S23 looks exactly the same as S22, S21, S20, totally different phone, totally different beast. Doesn't use anywhere as much power because it's processing so much quicker, okay? And yeah, it's just a fantastic thing to use. How do I do that? The other thing is too, with your phones, this has, I think, 5,400 milliamps hours or whatever it is. So at 1080p, you'll get 5.5 hours of live streaming out of it. But I still just use a little battery on there. I can get about, I don't know, on one battery, and the S23 I can get, I would say good, you'd probably get close to 24 hours of streaming out of it, if you know what I mean. But it's just one of those things too, people. Backpacks are a joke. I had one sent to me by Twitch when I was, you know, partnered and that sort of stuff. And let's face it, people, on this platform, partner means absolutely nothing nowadays. There's so many partners on Twitch that don't run partner numbers, right? And the other thing is too, you look at how many of them had massive numbers when they got partnered, and then once they got partnered, dropped back down because they were using bots, you know, but no one has the nuts to say it apart from myself, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's how it goes, you know? And yeah, so look, really keen on getting these out. Now people, got an announcement to make. There's a couple of things that are happening. The first thing that's happening is we're going to be relaunching australisfishing.com.au. I've managed to secure a couple of really good sponsorships from the States. So basically what we're going to do is predominantly, I would say, at least 90% of our stock items on Australis Fishing is going to be American-made products, purely because of the quality factor, okay? Now, I may have some Chinese-made products on there, or even Japanese-made products on there, but I'm going to try and avoid it, just mainly for the quality issue. I know that when I buy American-made products like these, I'm getting really good gear, okay? And that was evident in the soft plastics, because this week I brought in 3,500 soft plastic tails, and just the difference in the quality is phenomenal. I cannot fault anything that's been poured by hand in the States. And you know, I'm a local like you, so it doesn't matter where you are in Australia. Okay, you're a local, I'm a local here, everywhere, right? So you know, when I send the stuff out, we know that the stuff is going to do the job, okay? And that's basically what I want to do, because it's my reputation on the line with the stock that I'm sending out. And yeah, we're just going to see how we go with that, okay? So more about that a bit later. I just got to get a little bit more stock in before I start, you know, getting it all out there. Gold 21, how are you, bud? And then Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to everyone. We didn't stream for about 3 months before Christmas and New Year. So health, happiness and prosperity to everyone in the stream in 2024 and onwards, okay? And away we go. So, wow. Thank you very, very much for the 58 people that are giving up their time to watch the stream in here. Nice to see so many familiar faces, okay? Now, people, before we go any further, right, remember, the stream is free to watch. Do not gift any subs, okay? If you want to sub for free on the YouTube channel. Lowy, if you can just please put exclamation YT in the channel. Go and sub for free on the YouTube channel, right? And go and watch the content on the YouTube channel and let all the big corporations pay for it through the advertising, all right? Things are a bit strange in 2024. Got to keep your money in your pockets, people, okay? All right? Thanks, Lowy. Oh, and for those of you that are new to the stream, okay, with our stream, we don't run any alerts at all. We don't have any gimmicks on the stream, okay? We don't run sound alerts. We don't run any other alerts and that sort of stuff, because we use our footage from this live stream to edit. Excuse me. It's the night time when the air gets cold that gets me, right? We use this footage from Twitch to YouTube. We edit our live streams and then we put them up on YouTube, okay? And Australis TV is going to be picking up the content this year on YouTube now that we're in the new year. Just finding the time to do that's the hard bit, you know? All right, now, with today's conditions here in Western Australia, we had a very hot day. I think it sort of peaked around 34 degrees. And then during the day, we didn't have too much wind. These sort of conditions in the early part of January, traditionally you don't get too many fish during the day because of the heat, especially in freshwater too, if you know what I mean. Now, what happens is when you have no wind in freshwater and then you have a stinking hot sun, what it does, it takes actually a lot of the oxygen out of the water. Then in the afternoon, when the southwesterlies come in and the breeze comes in, it oxygenates again, which is what we have now. So I don't bother fishing usually the first 10 to 12 days in January during the day at all, just because of the heat and the transition, you know. It does have a big bearing on your fish and that sort of stuff. Now, we're underneath a she oak tree, right? And with this she oak tree, you can tell that you're under a she oak tree. Can you hear it whispering? And if you walk through the West Australian bush and you hear like that sort of stuff, you know you've got she oaks nearby. Now actually, these are the same oak tree as you find in Europe, but when the English settlers came here, they said that because it was Australian oak, it was inferior to English oak, so they called it she oak. I'm surprised no one's gotten on top of that and tried to sort of change it, you know. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is, if you want to pick up a really cheap light set for your fishing, right? I bought these from Aldi, okay? So with these, what they've got is, they've got the 2 LEDs on here. I'll just show you. Right, I'll shine them this way. So you got the one down the bottom, then you've got the one up the top, and then you've got both. Now these are a work zone product. I think they're only about 15 bucks. I've got about 4 of them. I've got 2 of these and 2 of the other ones. But you know, if you go camping and that sort of stuff and you want something that's rechargeable and that you can also, I think it's got a magnetic base on it, okay? Sorry, customs. right? What these do, these throw out a heap of light, people. And the good thing about them is you can just recharge them with your standard C fitting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plonk this down here, right, like so. And hopefully that's going to put enough light out so that we can see what we're doing on the stream, yeah? That's actually not too bad. And just to give you an idea, with that LED, right, that's one of them, not two, so that saves a bit of power. So let's chuck that cheeky bugger there. Right, actually, what have we got here? No, don't do that. All right. Okay, I don't think I want to use that soft plastic box, so we'll just put... That's too much of an angle, really. Let's just chuck this down here. There you go, that's better. The other Audi products that I bought too, this is the other work zone torch. So this is a little torch on the end, right? These are really good for marining people if you're in WA, right? And then you've also got the one down the bottom here, and these are also rechargeable with your standard C fitting, okay? So, yeah, Audi's got some good gear, and you just save a lot of coin, you know, which at the end of the day is what it's about. These ones are a bit different because these ones are a one that you can use, you know, if you're in a shed and that sort of stuff. You can actually hang them up. They come with the hook, right? So what we'll do is we'll just conserve the battery power on this, right? And then that way we'll just use this one. Right. Okay, see how the camera automatically adjusted there, right, with the light? That's the power. The Samsung Galaxy phones are the best phones for live streaming, people. Don't kid yourself, right? Now, okay, so what do we got here? What do we got here? Now, for those of you that are in the stream for the first time, hey, Chuff Blazer, how are you, bud? Yeah, it is, mate. That's what you want, bud. What happens is, when you've got wind blowing on the water, creating ripples, it actually oxygenates your water. So, this water, what on earth is that? What is that out in the water? Oh, ducks. So I call them target practice. So what it does is it actually oxygenates the water, which improves your chance of catching a fish. Because if it's not oxygenating the water, mate, you're going to have a few headaches, mate. Right, so. Ooh. Good one, Jim. How was your Christmas, Customs, and how was your Christmas, Chuff Blazer? Did you have a good time? There's that southwesterly, almost on key. Beautiful. That's what we want. Now, remember, people, with your conditions, you've got to alter your fishing tackle to fish your conditions. So with us tonight, we don't have the aid of a breeze blowing over our shoulder. Basically what we've got is we've got a southwester. Oh, I had to work, mate. Yeah, dunno, Johnny. Have no idea. It's probably high 20s, mate, or we're probably even still at 30, you know? Who knows? WA's pretty hot. Just think of Texas, mate, and you're pretty close with WA. All right, so yeah, I had to work Christmas Day, matey. So just one of those things when you work for yourself, you know. Wait, we'll put that over there. If you'd watched some of our previous fishing streams, you'd probably guess that right, bud. Now let me have a look. We've just had some fish get smashed to the surface, fam. That's exactly what we were hoping for. Right. Let's get that back. That's not good. And the other thing is too, mate, a lot of people ask that question. It's actually not the temperature outside that's important in the atmosphere, like the air around you. It's the temperature of the water that's important. So you never go fishing thinking, oh, it's 30 degrees, we're going to catch fish, because you don't know what the temperature of the water is. For example, when I went to Scotland, a lot of the salmonoid fishermen over there, I think they only chase the Atlantic salmon, or they only come on the bite between, I think, 23 and 25 degrees Celsius, but don't quote me on that, right? So, no, I'm in the south of Western Australia, bud. What about you? Where are you, Dan? All right, so what we're going to do today, right, is we're going to use... Oh, you're in Albany, Dan. Okay, Dan, Albany's a beautiful part of the world, mate. We've got a fishing trip planned down there soon, so come on. You turn off. Oh, helps if I do the right one, though. That's better. Rebecca. Hello from Australia. Okay. We have lots of good people in our community from Sweden. One of our mods is Swedish, actually. Now, people, the question that was asked in chat was, are you fishing for bream? No, because black bream go dormant at night, okay? Unless you've got lights and that sort of stuff, which we haven't got. Black bream usually shut down at night. You very, very rarely get big black bream at night, or black bream at night at all, people. Redfin perch are the same, right? So what we're fishing for tonight is we're hoping that there's a few stray mulloway that are coming up with the tide. Tide's not going to hit us probably for about another, I would say, good, conservatively saying, about an hour and a half. So okay. Now what I have here, this is our 1/16 ounce jig head, right? That is going to be too light for these conditions tonight. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a 3/16 ounce jig head, right there. So that's normally about a 1/16 ounce. We're going to go to a 3/16 ounce, okay? Okay, so where's my... All right, that's our 16-pound leader. What I might do is just leave that on there. Yep, like that. Excellent. Chuck that in with the others. Let's just... Excuse me for a second, people. Just a bit of shopkeeping. Oh, no, we can't do that because that's got the soft plastic liquid on it, which will chew the line anyway. So let's just chuck that in there. Good, chuck that in there. These are meant to be worm proof. It's not really happening, is it? Okay. Okay. Hey, Jace Killer, how are you, bud? So what we're going to do tonight, people, just suss this out, right? What we're going to do tonight is we're going to use a 3/16 ounce jig head there, okay? That is 3 times the weight of the one that we normally use. What you find at night, okay, at night, presentation is less of an issue than at day, okay? So the good thing about this is too, right, what we'll do with this. Yeah, I have, Jace. How about you, mate? Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, bud. Good to see you here. You don't really have to worry about too much presentation at night, right? You've got to worry about trying to get your soft plastic out there. Now, this is going to hurtle to the bottom a lot quicker than the other one, but what we will do is we'll be able to keep our lure in the strike zone, and we're going to have less issues with line twist purely because we've got a heavier jig head on here, okay? And this is just one less thing to go wrong at night, because the biggest problem at night is obviously, unless you've got night vision, which no human has, right? You've got to wear a headlamp or use a torch like me, right? And then, you know, if you've got stuff getting twisted and tangling up and that, if you do hook a good fish, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to land it anyway. Rightio. Hello, Rebecca. Yeah, we do lots of fly fishing on the channel, Rebecca. I'm actually a registered fly fishing guide, matey. So what we'll be doing on Tuesday, in our morning time, we'll be heading down south and we'll be fly fishing for big redfin perch in the southwest of the state, Rebecca. So one of our mods, I keep stirring him up because I keep getting these fish, and he goes, oh, they're not big as ours in Sweden. I go, yes, they are, mate. They're bigger, and he gets really annoyed with me. It's quite funny, actually. And I think I'm starting to view it as more of a sport, but he'll get over it, you know. We do lots of fly tying on our streams, Rebecca. So if you're a fly tying or fly fishing buff, you've come to the right spot, okay? Now just excuse me for a second. Just going to tie the swivel on. Mangy, how are you, bud? Oh, for pike, we don't get pike here. The last pike carcass was found in 1972 in Lake Munga. Fisheries totally butchered the fishery. So if they had to release pike in the rivers down south, we probably would have still had them, you know. So yeah, they released pike, which is traditionally a cold water fish, into a body of water that gets to 40 degrees in summer. Miss Shahrazad, how are you, mate? Welcome to the stream. I'm in Western Australia, matey. Thanks for tuning in. If one of our mods is still there, can you just type !welcome? No, we don't fish bobbers on this stream, mate. I flatly refuse to. I'm not a meat fisherman, people. I like to fish. Look, if I was a different person, right, I'd just be plonking up to jetties and the same spot week in, week out with bait, just trying to catch something to say, oh, you know, I've just got another personal best like they do. I don't do that. I do not fear not catching fish, okay? The tougher the fishing situation, the more I enjoy it, okay? And what we try and do... Oh, lovely, thanks, mate. And then what we try and do is, and that's the important thing, people, watching the stream, okay? Now remember, the stream's free to watch, okay? Doesn't cost you a cent to watch the stream, all right? And if Loey can please put in !YT. If you want to sub, go and sub on YouTube and watch our content on YouTube, and let the big corporations pay for it, people. Don't do it out of your own pocket. Now, right, 3/16, great. Is that your original username, Shara? All right, let's get this show on the road. We lost our biggest mulloway that we've ever hooked at night in this same river, people. This time of year it should be in this stretch of water. Now, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Okay, so here's a little crash course in soft plastic. So this is a 3/16 ounce soft plastic head, right? That's a size 1 hook. This is more of a bait type soft plastic jig head, but when you use super glue to hold your jig heads in place, you can still use it. So that's why this is going to be really good for us today, or tonight I should say. Dashing fun, how are you, bud? Wow, 4 years. You're one of the pioneers of the stream, mate. Now, there is an old saying in freshwater, right? And the saying goes like, the darker the night, the darker the fly, right? So what I'm going to do is, these are some beautiful little shad paddle tails that I got in from America today, and we're just going to use them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to rig this. Oops, so the 3/16 ounce hook, right, rides perfectly like that. Okay, that's all you need, because the fish that we've got in here are 3-inch shad. They'll just inhale that without even worrying about it. So when you do your soft plastics, you got to remember you got a middle point down the soft plastic where it gets pushed in from both sides of the mold, and on top of that as well, you've also got a middle point here. So we're talking about millimeters. So the sweet spot on the other side of that soft plastic is about 2 millimeters wide, and the sweet spot on the top side of that soft plastic is about 4 millimeters wide, okay? But the other thing we've got too is most good soft plastics like this one, if you see them, see how they taper exactly like a real fish, right? So what we've got to do is when that gets put through the middle of it, you've got to try and get it through the middle of the soft plastic so that you have the same amount of soft plastic on this side of the fly as you do on, sorry, my apologies. Got to have the same amount of soft plastic on this side of the jig as you do on that side of the jig, otherwise it won't swim straight in the water, okay? So what I'm going to do is, if you have a look at this here, right, now see here on the front of that, where that line goes across there, that's your midpoint, and down the middle's your midpoint. So that's where you actually aim to put your soft plastic in, okay? It's all right, Manji. Annihilation, how are ya? Death Pact, welcome. Now, so what we're going to do is we're just going to bring that in about 2 mil there, nicely done. Now what I've done is, now see how I've done that incorrectly? See how that has come out offside there? It's almost at an angle. So what you do, right, is remove it and do better. There we go. Well, that's better. So what's happened is now, see how the soft plastic's actually coming out in the middle of the bottom of the soft plastic? Beautiful. Don't be afraid to say I've mucked up, and do it again, fam, okay? Just got to come back a little bit. No, calm down. Right, now see that there? That's passable, but see how it's a little bit creased on the bottom? That's no good, we've got to do it again. Right, and look, if you take this bit of extra time in presenting your soft plastics, right, it'll make the difference in your catch rate. Right, that's not right either. Okay, so let's bunch this in here now. Bring that in there. This jig head, it's a bit different to the other one that I used in the 1/16. All right, so that's not right either. See here how it's got the curve? I'm trying to rig this like a 1/16 ounce jig head. I need to stop doing that. Yeah, Death Pack, do me a favour, bud. I appreciate what you're saying, but, you know, just leave the streaming to me, buddy, because we don't use weedless here, bud. Okay, hello, lovely Lace. How are you, bud? Okay. I don't need to use weedless here, mate. I'm not fishing lily pads or anything like that, but if I did, I would have suggested it, you know. Hey, Quickie, how are you, bud? Welcome to the stream. No. My eyes aren't what they used to be. That's better. Now we've got the sweet spot. Excellent. Beautiful. Yeah, you're right, mate. If you're not getting snagged, Death Packed, you are not fishing deep enough, bud. True story, mate. I know some people that when I used to fish with them, they'd virtually kill themselves, you know, to always get their flies and their lures. But Death Pack, you don't even know where I'm fishing on the collie, bud. Right? So, you know, I'm fishing a gravel bed on the collie, mate. Ah, Quickie, thanks for resubbing, mate. Thanks for your support, bud. That's going to entitle you to a discount in the new online store, Quickie. All right, people. So, see that? That's actually rigged correctly now, see? Right, a little bit off on the head. Actually, it's a bit of a misinformation, Jim. That's better. All right, now it's rigged correctly. So see how that's rigged correctly, right? My eyes aren't the best anymore, people. So that's probably about 99% correct, to be fair, right? So what's going to happen is that's going to go through the water, and then boom, when the fish hits, the hook's going to come out, okay? If the fish hits, obviously. So without further ado, okay, let's get into it. Right, now, okay, let me just turn this off. Okay, have we got enough light here to do the stream or not? Harry, how are you, legend? What are you doing, Harry? Yeah, what I think I'll do is I think I'll use I think I'll just use the headlight, fam. That way I can see the sharks if they turn up, you know. All right, so now we go in the water. We're going to about knee deep. Now the water's surprisingly cold, even though we've had a hot day. I've just seen a couple of shrimp that have, oh, that's beautiful. That is lovely. Okay. Rightio, people, we've got a really nice action on this soft plastic. So now we've just got to work it. Beautiful. Now, if those of you in the chat are saying, you know, why are you shining the light on the water? When we fish the beaches down south in the Southern Ocean, we always have quite an elaborate light display going. I don't think it bothers the fish at all, okay? I think that's more of a human perspective, you know. That's lovely. That is a beautiful action. This actual same lure that I've got on here, right, this is the same lure that I use to fish for redfin perch down south. So the shad pattern from America is a pattern that's been around since the 40s. Prior to the invention of soft plastics, it was on the hard-bodied lures and everything, okay? And it's got the basics of a good lure anyway, because the top of the soft plastic is darker than the bottom of the soft plastic, as most fish are. The only thing I think they should really do is just put a set of eyes on it, because eyes are a good focal point. Right, now I'll get those bass. Lovely. And look, people, with your soft plastics and that, usually in this sort of situation, you get a fish about 100 casts, right? So tonight we've got 97 to go. Same old story, just fish it nice and slow and nice and deep. What we got here? Lovely. The good thing about using a 3/16 ounce jig head too is you can cover a lot more water than a 1/16 ounce. 1/16 ounce, you need fairly specialised gear. One thing I found out too, a lot of your terminal tackle, like your swivels nowadays, a lot more of them are getting a higher aluminium component. That's not good, because in the old days they were just mainly brass. But what we're doing is we're sourcing some American-made swivels for the website, right? They're Roscoe swivels from America. I'm just getting that organised at the moment. So once we get that done, you know, away we go. I'll have another couple of casts and then I'll get back to chat. So just give me a second. How did that happen? It always does. All right. Hey Belty, how are you, bud? What's going on? Yeah, you've got to keep your location. Oops. Got to keep your location private, people, because it does go against terms of service. Why would you do that to me? Hang on. I was jiggling around the braid and the soft plastic and it looped over the tip. That's better. Oh, I guess so, Quickie. It won't be down here, bud. The last cyclone we had down here was Cyclone Albi in 1979, mate. Duck phobia. Somewhere out there, a duck is watching you. Get out of it, you feathered pests. Oh, why would you do that to me? Oh, dear. Remember what I said about the terminal tackle not being the same as it was in the old days? That's why I'm getting so much twist with this braid. This is a brand new spool of braid on here, people. And the last thing I need is a fish to hit while I'm doing this. Luckily, I'm using Dyneema, because with Dyneema you can get it out if you're using a PE type braid. Oh, don't do that. Oh, thank God. You know, PE is just a nightmare. I can't stand it. That Daiwa J braid we bought that time was terrible, people. Rightio, let's go again. I must have decelerated through that cast. Rightio, nice fluent action, mate. Oh. Ironically too, on the website this year we're going to have a lot of Murray cod lures. Apparently in one of the dams in the southwest, some cheeky bugger has released Australian bass. Okay, I don't know whether it's been photoshopped or whatever, but what we're going to do is we're going to throw the Starlink on the kayak. We're going to put the depth sounder on and we're going to go and sound out the dam, okay? Oh, that's magnificent. Oh wow, we've got an aquatic spider, fam. Cheeky bugger. Lowy knows this spot. Lowy knows this spot quite well because he came down from Perth and I took him fishing here with the soft plastics and he caught the biggest mulloway of the season. It was over 50 centimetres long. So yeah, he loves it here. The reason why I'm casting out to the right is the river's filling up, so it's flowing this way. If I cast this way, what'll happen is when you retrieve your lure or soft plastic upstream, it always comes to the surface. If you retrieve it downstream, which is this way, right, it'll stay on the bottom. And what I'm doing is I'm chancing it here. I'm fishing slightly off centre, so it's still not coming up to the surface, but all good. That looks exactly like a little mullet in the water, and a couple of blowfish just tried to beat it up, so it must be lifelike. All right, let's go to this right side a bit more. Oh, don't do that. Oh, hang on. Hang on. That got bumped on the way down, fam. Oh, don't do that. I got a knot in the braid, don't. That got bumped on the way down. Sugar. Hang on, let's bring this back in here a second. All right. Toyota Steve, we're 30 hours south of Crocs, mate. The only Crocs in here are the yuppie ones that I've got on my feet, bud. Just give me a second. I think there's a snake just around this paperbuck here, but that'll be all right. Oh, we've got some spiders here that have formed their beautiful nests. Come on, bud. What are you doing? Oh, run off then. I'll wash my hands and everything. Oh, let's have a look here. I just got a little loop in the braid again. Oh, that was lucky. There was about 1 millimetre in it. Quickie, there are Murray cod in Western Australia, bud, if you know where to look. And I've actually caught Murray cod in Western Australia at a Murray cod or native fish farm years ago called Beltana Springs. I'm trying to get in contact with the Montagues again to see if I can go out there. I don't know whether fisheries drained all their dams or whatever, but I've already caught Murray cod in WA. I got a beautiful little 4.5. It was about a 10-pound fish, which is about 4.5 kilos. So, got a yellow belly. I've caught silver perch at another dam down south. We're going to be doing a lot of different fishing this year, people. Right, we're going to be doing a lot of different fishing this year, okay? I know some farms down south where they have silver perch in the dams. So with those silver perch, I'm going to try and sort of put a hook into them. Right, so we've got a varied content plan this year. Right, all you need to do is just turn up and watch the stream, okay? All right. Right, let's go again. As you can see by the branches falling off the tree in here, we have got a very strong wind, but that's all right, people. That's what fishing's about. The fish live in the water, they don't care. And I don't like doing easy fishing, people. I like doing hard fishing, you know, like soft plastics at night. I'm not using any scent on the soft plastics, right? I'm just using the vibration of the soft plastic, and away we go. Oops, as I just take out the tree above me. Sorry. Rightio, let's go. Okay, let's catch up on chat. Oh dear, let's see what's going on here. All right. Thank you very much to the 107 people that are in here. That's great, thank you. All right. Oh, sorry to hear that, Annihilation. Well, you never know what life brings, mate. I mean, once you work through it, you might meet someone else. You don't know, bud. Just be true to yourself, that's all, you know. Fishing with me. Haven't you ever heard of stranger danger? Yeah, probably not, bud. Oh, you'll be fishing with Shook, righto. Oh, well, mate, time's one of those strange things that tends to cure ills, if you know what I mean, in terms of like, you've just got to, look, if you, one bad habit with guys is they don't go and get advice. So if you feel the need that you need to chat to someone, mate, just go and see someone, right? Don't be ashamed to do it, because, you know, you've got to do that, bud. There are people out there that can help you, mate. Damien, how are you, bud? Christmas Eve. Oh, damn it. Merry Christmas. Oh, bugger. Oh, God. Yeah, that's how life works, mate. You know what I mean? That's how life works, bud. All right. And, all right. Hello, little shrimpy. Okay, people, we're going to try a different tactic now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my... Manji, how are you, bud? Right. Right. Stark, how are you, bud? No crocodiles here, mate. I'm about 3,000 kilometres south of crocodiles. Hopefully the buggers don't learn how to go thermal, otherwise we will be in trouble, you know. All right, so just give me a second, people. Now, don't do that, don't do that. Calm down, it's all right. Yep, that's better. All right, just give me a second. Oh, Steve, the thing is, bud, we probably won't get a fish, but that doesn't mean that we won't stop trying, bud. You never get put off by not catching fish, mate. You know, I've had plenty of streams where I haven't caught anything, mate. It doesn't define who you are as an angler. just means you didn't get any fish on the day, you know. Now, yeah, I reckon that's a good idea. All right, people, so what I'm going to do now, right, is we're going to do what I call a bit of left field fishing, right? So, DJ, how are you, bud? Hey, vegan cannibal. You must be still drunk, mate. The Pies won the premiership last year, vegan. Right, now, people, what we're going to do is we're going to go to a 4-inch lure with a 1/2 ounce head. I just want to pump this out as far as we can. We're going to use it on the heavier, or should I say the stiffer soft plastic rod. And then what we'll do is we'll just see what's out there, okay? We have done this before. Yeah, Manji, we probably keep less than 0.03% of the fish that we catch on stream, mate. With mulloway, they're such a slow-growing fish, I wouldn't have the heart to kill one, bud. I would much rather see it still swimming. Yeah. They're actually, once you figure out their secrets. That's right, Steve. Oh, thanks, Toyota Steve. Look, mate, with our stream, we just focus solely on content, bud. We are a content first. No, we're not. We're actually community and content together. We like to bring our community together with our content. We've had a lot of people that have been, you know, watching for a long time. You know, they've been there through the ups and downs of the stream, you know what I mean? So we were previously partnered on Twitch, and then I spat it and sent them an email to take it back. And after how the partnerships have been going on Twitch recently, mate, it's, yeah. In the early days on Twitch, you used to have an average of 200 viewers to get partnered, right? Then it dropped, and then they brought the advertising in, so people started using bots to try and cash in and all that sort of stuff, you know, and it's just ridiculous. It's a very, very sad state of affairs, people. Oi, what are you doing? Get out of there. Manji, I am. I mean, we'll eat herring and we'll eat whiting because they don't have like a minimum legal size. And I mean, redfin, we've kept, oh, I don't know, we've kept quite a few redfin last year, but we caught quite a few fish last year, you know. So, I mean, redfin are considered vermin in Western Australia. You're not allowed to release them back into the water. Right. Let's just bring this in here. And a bigger soft plastic is going to allow us to cover more ground and keep the lure deep. And we're going to fish it dead slow. Quickie, mate, thanks for gifting that sub to vegan, bud. But man, you're a family man. You've got to keep your money in your pocket, Quickie. Right. Okay, so what we've got here is we're going for the biggest soft plastic. This is going to move a lot of water. This is about the average size. Oh, that's lovely. Look at that. Yep. All right. So what this is going to do, this is going to flutter through the light from the headlamp. Oh, look at that, lovely. All right, good work. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to put this back over this side. No, on here. Right, like that. Okay, now. Beautiful. Nice and slow, famo. All right, excellent. This is good. I think I'm going to go up another rod for this bigger stuff. We're easily halfway out in the river there, fam. The actual soft plastic looks really good in the water when it's sort of fluttering through the light. What I'm going to do is, where I'm fishing there, I have got a little bit of junk on the bottom because it's getting brought in with this high tide. Right, there it is, beautiful. Right, and this is what you want when you sort of got lights around a river and that sort of stuff. Right, excellent. So I'll give you the rundown on white soft plastics, right? Yeah, I know, mate, but you don't have to do it, bud. You know, just, yeah, I mean, yeah. If anybody should be gifting subs, brother, it's me, right? You know what I mean? That's who should be doing it. No, of course I've got a full-time job, mate. I work flat out, bud. I do on average, well, put it this way, I use live streaming as a way for, you know, like mental health and that, because it just relaxes me. I get to interact with everyone, and we've done so much live streaming. We've had a lot of people that have been watching the stream for a long time. And when I retire in 7 years or whatever, I've got huge plans of going around Australia and the world and live streaming it, right? So yeah, I work flat out, mate. And I mean, Loey can vouch for this. If anything, I probably work a bit too much, man, you know. Well, put it this way, Toyota Steve, I worked Christmas Eve, I worked New Year's Eve, and I worked New Year's Day, and I worked Christmas Day, because when you work for yourself, bud, and I won't say what work I do, right, you've got to do that, don't you, you know? Yeah, look, people, if you're wondering what we mean by a gender-free stream, right? I said it at the start. This is a free stream, okay? It doesn't cost you anything to watch it. And there's been a big shift in live streaming over the last, I don't know, probably not even 18 months, where, look, live streaming is a form of online busking, right? So if you go to the mall and you've got a busker, you don't pay them and then they start busking, do they, you know? So with us, we just concentrate on content. This is why we migrated across to YouTube. We're nearly at 1.2 million views on YouTube. We don't embed anything on YouTube, so our views are real. That's why I say, if you want to subscribe for free on YouTube. Just go and watch the content, let them play the ads, let the big corporations pay for your viewing time, fam, okay? All right? Oh, I do a lot, Toyota Steve. I do a lot, mate, but let's just say I contribute to society with my work, okay? So yeah, I'm one of these people that believes that what makes the country great is you get up every day and you work, you pay your taxes and you contribute, you know? Obviously we don't have any control how the government wants to use that, but that's just life, mate. That's the same in any Western culture, you know? So, but yeah, I mean, I'm a workaholic. Loey can vouch for that for me. He came down one day and I think I had a quiet one that day. I only did a 14-hour day, which was pretty good. Oh, now that was interesting. There was a bit of a flash in the water here. And Steve, if you're wondering, right, I just paid off my Hilux, so I own it. Yeah, I've had 2 Hiluxes in my life, so I guess you could call me Toyota Jim as well, you know. Come on, just one good fish for the community. We need to be rewarded for all the effort we're putting in. Okay, now there was a bit of a flash over there, fam. That is beautiful. I'll get a mull away at the mouth of the Moore River with that. When we go and fish Gilderton, Loey, and we go and use soft plastics and lures and catch and release fish, lovely. Oh, it's a blowy old night, isn't it? Oh, hang on. Oh, please, just for once, live on stream, hit it and take off to the other side of the river. Come on. Now, the good thing about using braid, famo, is you get a rough idea of what's happening with your line. When I was retrieving that, it felt as though the leader brushed along a fish. Okay, so something could have been having a look at the soft plastic, but I could have sworn that I felt something brush. Oh, excuse me. Oh, this flu's killing me. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do, right? Now we're just going to play a little bit of silly buggers, right? I'm going to tick that bar arm over. Going to let the fish have a look at it for 3 or 4 minutes. I've caught plenty of big perch this way, fam. Oh. Hey, thanks, Quickie. I certainly do. Buddha, how are you, bud? Thanks, mate. We've got 2 YouTube channels. We've got 2 Twitch channels. Excuse me. Our YouTube channels are the same as our Twitch channels. Surprise, surprise. Shane, how are you, mate? Where you been, bud? Where you been? Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Health, happiness and prosperity from 2024 onwards. And I hope you find a wife that doesn't have fat ankles. Old Macedonian saying, right? Okay. Shane, where you been? Well, you're not being a downer, dark eye annihilation. Mate, go and see someone, bud. Go to your general practitioner, get onto a general practitioner management plan and go and see someone and talk about it to help you work through it, bud. Right? I'm not a counsellor or a psychologist or psychiatrist. It would be selfish of me to offer advice, but you do have those options in Australia, mate, so use them. That's why you pay your taxes, bud, okay? Oh, me too, Shane. We didn't stream on Australis Fishing for nearly 3 months, mate, you know? So, and then I got quite sick with COVID. That didn't help. All right, people, so what we've done is we've cast out that soft plastic. We've just left it out there for the fish to have a look at. I catch a lot of really big redfin perch like this in the Warren River when I take the Starlink out with me. This year, I'm going to be showing you some of the remotest spots in Western Australia and some of the most beautiful spots in Western Australia. We've got one spot at a certain time of year when the salmon come through. You can sit on the mainland looking at an island and you'll see all the great whites, you know, you'll see all the marlin and everything following the salmon through as well. It is stunning, people, okay? You've got 60-pound blue groper swimming around at your feet. It's just magnificent, okay? Good, come on. Wonder if I can show people how that looks in the water. Yeah, I probably can actually. All right, people, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. Oh, Ira, how are you, mate? Welcome to the stream. Don't be terrified, mate. Just toughen up, princess. You'll be right. Okay, old Australian saying. Now, people, check this out, right? What we're going to do is we're going to zoom in here. I'm going to give you a little bit of pro advice about how to fish soft plastics, right? Now what you do is with your soft plastics, there's an old saying in lure fishing, right? When in doubt, use white. So watch this. Watch what happens, okay? See how the soft plastic's coming into the light? Look. See how it sits like that? That's how you want a soft plastic to sit in the water, right? You want it to sit vertically like that. See how the tail flutters? Right? Plastics, right? And they're reeling them in like a lure, they're a fake. They've never fished with soft plastics in their life, right? So watch this. There it is. See that? Now I'll get that out a bit further, right? What we'll do is I'll get the light on there like that, right? So see that in there? Watch this. Boom. See how it's coming in now? That's exactly how it looks in the water, see? That's exactly what you want your soft plastic to do. Now see how that's vertical? And what you can do is you can do various techniques. So let me show you why the position of your rod is important, okay? So, if you're fishing shallower water, right, like that, and you go too high with the stick, see how it comes out the water? Oh, hang on, that's just the natural instinct. I meant to make a mistake there. Let's just chuck that in there, right? So watch this, see? And if you go too high, see how it pops out of the water? So that's why when I'm fishing with soft plastics, right, and I've got it coming in closer to me, what I do is rather than the rod tip going up, I put it to the side. See how it comes in a bit more of a shimmy action? And what you're doing is it looks like a little fish grubbing on the bottom, see? See how with the position of the, and this is the other thing too that people don't realise. When you fish with a loop, right, if I bring this in here, right, now if you have a look at that, I'll bring this in a little bit more so the tail, okay, see how that's swinging around with the current? I'm not even retrieving there. That actually looks like a live fish grubbing on the bottom, doesn't it? That's why you fish with a loop. If you fish with a loop, you'll increase your catch rate by 40% straight up, okay? And that's proof as to why you do that, all right? So let's continue again. All right, so what I'm doing here, and it's quite a simple process, okay? Right, the longer you have your lure in the water, the more chance you have of catching a fish, or in my case, you know, thinking I can catch a fish. There we go, beautiful long cast. We're probably halfway out in the river. Right, now with the angle of the water, so what's happening is, okay, because I'm fishing a loop, that soft plastic sitting there and turning in the current, exactly like a natural fish grubbing on the bottom, right? We have top class presentation here, even though it's at night. So what I'm gonna do now is, I know out there it's about 10 foot to 12 foot deep. So bump, bump, wind in the slack, and then I'm gonna leave it on the bottom again. So it looks like a little fish that's bumped up and then gone back to the bottom to feed, right? Bump, bump, again, we bring it back. What we'll do is we'll try something different. We'll just try a few quicker retrieves. Now remember, always watch your fishing line, okay? Now, this is coming in a bit shallower. See how I've dropped my rod tip? So what I'm gonna do is just skim this across the bottom, then that way it stays in the strike zone if there's a fish out there, okay? Rightio. Lovely. All right. Now, this wind is coming in directly off that southwest direction right there, okay? So allow for my back cast, spatial awareness is important. Beautiful, lovely straight line. Now, I was aiming here because of the wind and the fact that I've got a 4-inch soft plastic, even though it's got a half ounce head on it, my actual lure ended up about 20 feet to the left of where I cast, right? Now remember, never wind your reel while you're lifting the soft plastic. If you've got a lure, with lures you have to wind obviously, but with a soft plastic, you don't wind because that'll put twist in your line, right? So as you're bumping it, don't wind. Then what happens is when the plastic drops, then you wind because you're recovering the slack line. It takes a while to figure out your rhythm. Oh, excuse me. But when you get there, be able to pump and wind your fishing rod and keep the slack out of your soft plastic. So anytime a fish hits your soft plastic, you'll set the hook, okay? That's the other advantage of retrieving left hand, fishing right hand, okay? Oh. Now, remember when I said slow it down? I'm not making this up. That was actually a hit, okay? So let's just settle. Right. Come on. I've got to give this a really aggressive action now. I think I know a lot of people that have fished with soft plastics at nights over the years, and they reckon they fish with a much more aggressive retrieve. Wow, that took off like a kite, didn't it? And look, this is very low percentage fishing in terms of catch rate, okay, but you don't get put off by that, because if you do hook a fish tonight, people, it will be a beauty. Oi. Well, that just ruined a lot of really good presentation. Right, let me get here. Please forgive me for leaving chat behind. I've just got to, I can't use this rod and reel with the phone because I'll end up losing the phone, okay? Rightio. Nighttime soft plastic fishing can be quite nerve-wracking too, because you'll always see something behind there. Hey Rob Aussie, how are you, bud? If you were fishing the floodwaters in central Queensland and Gold Coast, don't know, Robbie, I'd have to be there to assess it, bud. Hey, Toyota Steve, thanks, mate, but Kev's Corrupted Mind. Obviously, that's a new username, Kevy, because I don't remember that one. Yeah, Rob, I don't know, mate. I'm not there. Each waterway's different, bud. You've got so many things to take into consideration, you know, but one thing a lot of people do that are lazy, right? I have about 12 different types of sinkers I use to match different conditions. You'll never have everything, okay? But Robbie, before we go any further, if you were fishing the floodwaters in Queensland, what sinker were they using? Rob, let me have a guess. And look, I don't know who you're talking about, but let me guess, were they using a star sinker? Robbie, were they using a star sinker, bud? Funny that. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it, mate. What I'll do, right, is I'll go and fish a floodwater and I'll show you how to fish a floodwater. Star sinkers are very limited in their usage. You should only use them in a beach situation where you've got sand and you can bury them. Never use them around structure, bud, right? There's so many better options. But I'll do a stream on it for you one day and you can have a look, all right? Yeah, nah. Anyway. How did I know that? Oh dear. Oh, hang on, before we go any further, Robbie. Hey, Robbie, was it a streamer? Hey, Toyota Steve, mate, I appreciate the support, bud. You know, don't feel compelled to gift subs, mate. I appreciate the support, but just, you know, times are tough out there, mate. So, yeah, I appreciate it. But, you know, I mean, follow on YouTube and watch on YouTube, mate. Okay? It was a musician that does YouTube videos, righto? Okay, well, if they do YouTube videos, at least they're not going to put up a dono goal for new sinkers. Right. When you're fishing floodways and all that sort of stuff, Rob, where you're fishing is more important than the tackle that you're using, because you must allow for water flow, right? When I fish floodwaters, if I can get the right fishing spot, half the time I don't even use sinkers, mate. Which probably a lot of people go, yeah, you're a bit full of it, big fella, but oh no, I'm not. Come on. Fishing's a good night out, fam. Just making sure that I see if there's a fin out here or anything. With this big 4-inch soft plastic, if we do hook a mulloway, it's going to be a decent sized one. It won't be less than 4 kilos, I'll give you the tip. Let's go out to the left a bit. Now this wind's dried off. Or died off, not dried off. Oh dear, just got to be a bit careful in the old water, fam. Especially when you've got skin with pores that releases scent, you know what I mean? Bull sharks come out at night, although the water's not really cold enough for them, but it's not stopped them before, you know? We're doing the yards, fam, that's the main thing. The reason why I'm spending so much time in difficult conditions, when fishing becomes second nature and you have an extended break from it, right, you need to go through the motions again so that you recognise the muscle movement so it becomes second nature again, right? So these are really difficult conditions. Okay, got howling southerlies. Right, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I have no idea what's going on, okay? I have no idea what's going on. I'm just gonna back out of the water because that could have even been a little bull shark having a little dig, you know? The thing is too, with me backing out of the water, I'm actually a lot higher up the bank, so I've got to drop the rod tip. Let me have a look. Jazza, how are you, bud? Oh, yeah, kia ora, how are you, mate? Aloha, Brooks, how are you, bud? What's going on? Oh, it is, Manji, and that's the thing, bud. With fishing, mate, we do it to relax and chill out, okay? I mean, I could come up here with bait and catch something, but bait's easy fishing, bud. Hey there, Clarky. What we're fishing for, mate, is what we're fishing for is mulloway, bud. No, none at all, Mia. Sway's Ando, Uso, how are you, bud? Oh, we had some Samoan boys that used to watch the stream. Uso means friend. Wondering if it's the same ones. Yeah, we're just fishing for mulloway. Brim shut down at night. So what I've got is, I've got a big 4-inch tail and just seeing if there's a big sucker out there, you know? All right. I think someone's given us a message. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start retrieving a lot more aggressively and see if I can induce a territorial strike, fam, okay? Right, so this looks like a fish that's fleeing, good. Let's go again. We'll do 2 casts that will retrieve absurdly quickly, just trying to get it interested, you know? The old burnout brigade's around. Right. You've got to try these things, fam, you know, stirring them up. Rightio, one more and then we'll do a super slow retrieve. There we go, beautiful cast. These Shimano J45 rods aren't the most expensive rod out there, people. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to get a fish to chase after this lure. Sometimes you can get them wound up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give it a chance to get it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slow this right down. Right. I do this thing in freshwater when the big brown trout are around. I call it parallel casting. With the parallel casting, what I do is I get big dragonfly patterns and I cast them parallel to the water's surface, trying to entice the big brown trout to chase them. And then what they do is I start to slow down on the final, delivery cast. So that way what they'll do is they hit them as soon as they hit the water. It's quite a spectacular way of fishing, believe it or not, right? But I've been doing it since the 80s and that. It's a fantastic way to fish though. Brown trout are a very strange freshwater fish. They can withhold their temperature limits a lot better than rainbow trout. Quite often they're the most cunning fish to try and catch, but when the terrestrials are out, usually in the middle of summer, 2 p.m. or 1 p.m, hottest part of the day, you're fishing with fly gear, and then whoompa, you hook into a big brownie. It's just hilarious. All right, one more cast, famo. And what we're going to do now is we're going to stir them right up. Right, let's bring this down like so. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to ignore chat anymore. I'm just going to chuck this down here and away we go. Oh dear. McGlashan, how are you, stranger? That's it. Dooms, how are ya? Nah, not tonight, Clarky. Just the tide's a lot later. I thought we'd have a chance, but I mean, you know what it's like fishing with soft plastics, mate. There's no scent, and you're just trying to stir them up to have a crack at it, So yeah, none so far, but that doesn't mean we can't stop trying, Oh. And Dooms, one thing we don't do on this stream, bud, is we don't quit. Okay? We just keep fishing. You've got to remember it's called fishing for a reason, not catching, Yeah, today was too hot and still to go for and fish. Would have been good for crabbing though. Fly fishing at night's a different proposition. Okay. Cannot wait to use those Bass Academy soft plastics, especially that purple one in freshwater, fam. Righto, let's just chuck one more out there. One thing you've got to try and do when you fish, people, don't worry about not catching fish, as long as you learn something that you can take into your next fishing session. That's the important thing. If you can pick up one thing in each preceding fishing trip to the next one, over time, you'll build up your skill set, you'll build up your observation skills, right? And then what you'll do, eventually, you'll have a much shorter time frame between catching fish, if that makes sense. Because Our last 3 trips back, we haven't hooked a fish on the soft plastics. Oh, whoa, 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 hang on. I could have sworn I saw a little bronze body go behind the soft plastic then, fam. Right, just hang on a second. Okay, and yeah, we haven't caught anything, but that doesn't matter. We're just getting into the swing of things for when we do, you know. And one thing I'm really sort of, you know, the whole personal best thing, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Oh dear. Soft plastics at night, one of the hardest things out there, famo. Right, one of the hardest things to do out there. Okay. Right, now what I'm going to do is slow everything down, and we're going to do a super slow retrieve. You've got to mix it up. Sometimes you'll go fishing, right, and a fast retrieve will work. Then everything slows off, you try a few different retrieves, boom, the second retrieve that you try works, right, then you do that one, you know. You've always got to change your tactics to suit your conditions, you know what I mean? And we're using quite light tackle here. We've got 15-pound Dyneema braid, and we've got 16-pound trace. Okay, so that should be plenty. All right, last cast. Let's have a look. Beautiful, lovely. Let's just maintain tension on this line at all times. Getting into a bit of shallower water now, so we drop the rod tip. Excellent. So next time we go out, we don't really change anything. We just hope there's fish around, famo. All right. Hey, synthetic chicken, you're not bad for at night, isn't it, bud? All right, well, thank you very much to the 114 people that have tuned in today. I've really appreciated the fact that you've given up your valuable time to watch the stream. Right. Oh, you too, Steve. And look, mate, thanks for your support. You know, tell you what, don't gift any more subs, bud. Just tell all your friends about the YouTube channel and get the subscribers up on the YouTube channel, mate. How's that for a deal? That way, you don't empty your pocket out, right? And your friends get to see new content. We try and avoid swearing at all costs in our stream. We've got a few sponsors that we're negotiating with at the moment, okay? And what we try and do is just provide clean, crisp content that's entertaining and educational, okay? And straight up, the amount of fish you catch or catching fish is probably the least important thing on our streams. I'm the least important person in the stream. The most important people of the streams are the people that are watching the streams. Also our mod team and the Brains Trust, okay? Thanks, Dave. Nah, not really synthetic chicken. Just, it's been one of those nights. This is a saltwater river, mate, you know? So, just hang on a second. Right, let me just see who else is on. Oh dear. Thanks everyone, I really appreciate it, okay? Now, We've got a member of our streaming team that's live at the moment. Alec Ludford is actually one of the pioneers of IRL on Twitch. He's had a few personal things that you wouldn't wish upon anyone recently. He's just coming back from that. Please be kind to him. Please be positive to him and show him support. Keep being awesome. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate your time. Okay, and I look forward to seeing you on the next stream. Probably won't be streaming much until about Sunday, and then Tuesday we've got a big 8-hour stream, freshwater fishing in the beautiful southwest of Western Australia. Bye for now. Thanks, Clarky. Aloha. No homo, quickie, all right? Thanks, everyone. Kia ora to all our New Zealand family members. What? Alec, what are you doing to me, bud? Oh, I know who I can raid. Hang on, people. Don't go anywhere. Alec went offline. That's all right. We've got another Australian streamer we can raid. Hang on, Loey. Let's get her numbers up. All right, people. What we're going to do is we're going to go and raid Candy Rocks. Candy Rocks is awesome. She's a quality streamer and a quality person. Why is there only 15 people in here? Bugger. All right, please go across and see Candy Rocks. Damn it.